Shalom. Thanks for joining me today. Confusion has many disguises, and I'm keenly aware. And one of them is entertainment, but biblical entertainment. All right, biblical entertainment. Let me tell you some examples. Many years ago, when I was still in the Christian churches, and I didn't come out of the Christian churches, I still consider Seventh Day Adventist Christian until 2009, the end of 2009, right before that Christmas celebration when I got rid of all the Christmas stuff that was in my house. But anyway, I would read Christian novels or watch Christian films, that were based on people in the Bible. I remember the last Christian book I read. It was about an Irish man that was tricked into marrying two sisters and the rivalry that went on between these two sisters. Okay. When I finished that book, my knowledge of Jacob, Leah, and Rachel was all twisted up with the stuff of that book. I vowed I wouldn't read any more of those books because of the confusion enters in when you mix fact with fiction. Okay, and so it just I said, I'm just gonna keep what the biblical information that I have and I know is true. Let me just keep that and not even deal with nothing else. Well, sometime after that, uh, my late husband Floyd and I, we didn't have our usual Bible study with Winston and Zoe because we were at Lake Michigan and we had left them they remained at home. Okay. And I suggested that we find a Sabbath movie to watch. This was like on that Friday night. And after we got past the Black Sabbath movie, when you Google Sabbath, anything coming up, and the other horror films um, that we found on Google, we found a nice Christian looking site with movies like Daniel and Ruth. Okay, so I clicked on Daniel. We couldn't even watch it for 5 minutes. Okay, the movie had Daniel wandering in the desert after escaping the lion's den. Then he was detained by a king on his way to Babylon. It's like that ain't even right. No, no, that where's that in scripture? It ain't in scripture. All right. So we looked at each other. So said, well, what about the movie on Roof? I mean, you can't mess that up. That's just a straightforward story. You can't mess it up. Well, my red flag goes up when I see a father hurriedly propelling his young daughter down the street, um, past the Shemos, the Moabite idol god of human sacrifice by fire. Okay, and the father pushes the girl into a building and then sells her to become a servant in the idol worshippers' temple. The man who accepts her examines her and he says, "What's your name?" She sorrowfully accepts her fate and looks up at the man and says, "Ruth." Okay. Nowhere is that in the scripture. The computer just got turned off. Okay. It just did. Wasn't no need trying to find nothing. You can mess up Daniel and Ruth. Ain't no telling what else would be coming about. So we have to be very discerning and close the doors to all confusion and untruth. Now, real life situation. My mother, and she's passed. And sometimes I would criticize her about watching those immoral soap operas. And she would say, I know the difference between right and wrong and what's real and not real. Okay, but I'm going to tell you, I beg to differ with that position. Okay, because you mix up the two on a regular basis. You become what you take into your heart and your mind. And that is what you speak, and it'll become your obsession, and you'll begin to accept some things that we never should accept, you know. And so when Mama and another one of her soap opera friends would get together and they would be in the house and they would talk about the TV characters as if they were real folks, and I happened upon them having a conversation once, and it took me a few moments to realize they were discussing the Young and the Restless or the Bold and the Beautiful and wasn't talking about our relatives. You know, it just it 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 it, it can whatever you put in your it starts consuming your mind. So we have to be careful about what we allow to have access to our mind and heart. I want to read Psalm 101, verse 3. in the Amplified Bible. Okay. I will set no worthlessness or wicked thing before my eyes. I hate the practices of those who fall away from the right path. It will not grasp hold of me. All right. Thanks for listening. And remember to like and share and subscribe if you haven't already. Shalom.